Hi, friends. Today we'll talk something about the great bard of British literature, or we can say the world literature, William Shakespeare. And who was actually William Shakespeare? And it is supposed that he was baptized in the month of April on 26th, 1564 at Stratford upon Avon, which is in Warwickshire, England. And he died in the month of April 23rd, the same, 1616. Shakespeare was a great poet, dramatist, and actor, often called the English national poet. He is considered by many to be the greatest dramatist of all time. We can say that he occupies a position unique in world literature, along with the great Greek master Homer and legendary poets like Dante, great novelists such as Count Leo Tolstoy, Charles Dickens. And we can say that he transcended the national barriers. And Shakespeare sometimes makes us feel very proud that he doesn't belong to England or Britain, but he belongs to us. That's why the very popular comment by one of his contemporaries, Ben Jonson, the poet, that Shakespeare was not of an age, but for all time. And it's going to be literally very difficult to define his greatness. But we can identify the imaginative visions and the creative nuances, and also the intellectual rapidity, his great perceptiveness, poetic power. When we talk about the life of William Shakespeare, the amount of factual information available about him is surprisingly large for one of his stage in life. And sometimes some of his personal biographical details are nothing but imaginary remarks. The dates of his baptism, his marriage, the death, and his contact with his wife and family, his burial, legal processes, etc. Many contemporary allusions to him as a writer, and these add a reasonable amount of biological skeleton. The comment by Robert Greene, one of Shakespeare's contemporaries, who was having a terrific jealousy or envy towards him, declared, one of the comments by Robert Greene is, "There is an abstract crow, beautified with our feathers, that with his tiger's heart wrapped in a player's hide, supposes he is as well able to bombast out a blank verse as the best of you. And being an absolute Johannes Factotum is in his own conceit the only shake scene in a country. Green was jealous of the popularity and the widespread greatness of William. Before going into the private life and also some of the interpretational, metaphorical meanings to be excavated from the works of Shakespeare, let's make an attempt to categorize the order of his composition. In general, we can say that Shakespeare wrote 37 plays. And there is a controversy regarding the authorship of one particular play. So if we include that particular play to his credit, then Shakespeare could have been written 38 plays. But for the time being, excluding that controversial authorship, we can say that Shakespeare wrote 37 plays over a period of around 24 years. And to his credit, we have a large number of longer poems and a good collection of sonnets, 154 in number, which are the plays of Shakespeare. So when we analyze the drama of Shakespeare or the dramas of Shakespeare, there is a particular period which we normally call it as the early period, which spans from the year 1589 to 1593 for around 4 years. To this particular period, we have the plays like King Henry VI, Part 1, King Henry VI, Part 2, which are followed by Part 3. And we have Titus Andronicus, followed by the Comedy of Errors. Then there comes the Two Gentlemen of Verona, the Taming of the Shrew, which ends, this particular period ends with the publication or with the production of the play King Richard III. And the next period of Shakespeare, which is approximately in the order of composition, which spans between 1593 to 1598, to begin with the play titled King John, which is followed by Love's Labour's Lost. And during this particular period, there comes the masterpiece of romanticism, the masterpiece of romance called Romeo and Juliet. Then it is a streaming of plays like A Midsummer Night's Dream, The Merchant of Venice, King Richard II. Then again the historical plays King Henry IV, Part 1, Part 2, The Merry Wives of Windsor, Now let us take the next period, which is considered to be the period of the Renaissance, during the period of the Renaissance in the life of Shakespeare, which is around, and the plays composed from 1598 We have Much Ado About Nothing, King Henry V. Then comes the Roman play Julius Caesar, followed by As You Like It. Then in the year 1600, the very popular revenge tragedy Hamlet, followed by Twelfth Night in the next year, that is in 1601. Then we have Troilus and Cressida, followed by All Is Well That Ends Well, composed in 1603. And during the same period, we have Measure for Measure, Othello in 1604, followed by King Lear the next year. Then there comes one of the greatest tragedies of the entire world literature, Macbeth in 1606, followed by Antony and Cleopatra. And in 1607 we have Timon of Athens, followed by Coriolanus. If you ask me which are the later plays of or the last stage plays of Shakespeare, we have 5 or 4. I said 5, which can be Pericles, Cymbeline, The Winter's Tale, and in 1611 The Tempest, and in 1613 King Henry VIII. If we exclude King Henry VIII, we can sum up that the final stage of a Shakespearean play career was only 4, with Pericles, Cymbeline, The Winter's Tale, and The Tempest. We know that the year 1588 had been the high point of Elizabeth's reign. We call it Elizabethan period. And we have some references to the defeat of the Spanish Armada, signaled England's supremacy of the seas. And we know that there is a harmonious blending between the role of kings and the role of human beings, ordinary human beings, which becomes one of Shakespeare's main concerns. Shakespeare has no heroes. I hope that you remember the very popular comment on Shakespeare's characters. The depths of human behavior is one of the concerns of Shakespeare. And the range of his dramas covers all the form and pressure of mankind in the world. We have themes from politics to family, society to personal life, public to private matters. To conclude, the world is incomplete without William Shakespeare. And when you enter a library, any big or small type of libraries in the world, you can find a specific room or a specific shelf exclusively reserved for Shakespeare's writings and also writings on Shakespeare. We'll have to make a detailed analysis of the plays and the poems of Shakespeare one by one, and we will do it in the coming classes. Thank you very much for patiently listening to me. If you find this is really helpful, you can subscribe my channel, and if you want to get the notifications, please press the bell button. Thank you very much. Have a nice time.